Hi, this is Danny from UEN, and today I'm going to be showing you WorldBook Encyclopedia. So you can see I'm logged in here at Pioneer Library, and I just come down to the bottom and click on WorldBook Encyclopedia. And it takes me to this landing page. This is the new kids page, just so you know that's targeted at elementary students. And then this is the Discover page, and there is a how-to below this one. And that's for students who are reading below their level, below their peers, middle school and above, and it helps to differentiate research. There's also the encyclopedia in Spanish. Today I'm going to be focusing on the student WorldBook, which is targeted middle school students and above, and then the timelines tool as well. So first I'm going to click on Student, and it'll open WorldBook Student, and you'll be able to see the home page. They always have a featured video, highlight on what's new content, research tool like citation builders, how to do research to kind of help students get started, headlines, explore, most popular articles, which is always a fun place for students to go browse, and then quizzes and activities. So I'm going to start just by doing a search. I'm going to just search about the moon. And you'll see it gives me all kinds of references. There are 418 different kinds of references about the moon. There are encyclopedia articles, dictionary, maps, tables, sounds, pictures, videos. So you can see how doing an advanced search would be helpful to narrow these down. But first, I'm going to just go into the first article. And here's information about the moon. And you'll notice when I come all the way to the bottom, it always gives the writer's information as well as how to cite this article using MLA, APA, and Harvard, which is such a handy tool. Then our students can focus on research and not worry so much about how many spaces go after a period in MLA citation or whatnot. So I'm just going to click at the top, go back, and I'm going to do an advanced search. And this way I can narrow my search down a little bit. What's really great is I can do a Lexile measure. So I can decide what level of text. I Googled Lexile to grade correspondence, and just so you know, an 8th grader would be looking at Lexile level 805 to about 1100. So let's narrow there. 805 to 1100. So it's going to be right on grade level for this person. And I don't want dictionary. Let's say I don't want maps. I can narrow it that way. And then again, I'll search for the moon and see what comes up. So it gives me WorldBook Student articles and then ones that came from WorldBook Kids. And it did narrow it down a bit. We have about 140 resources instead of 419. So that's how you can use the advanced search to help your students narrow their search results. Also in here is the Biography Center, which is a really great place, especially if kids are doing biographies, but also just for research in general. So let's say I'm going to inventors. It'll search inventors and it'll bring up this information. But if I'm doing research on maybe something else, let's say I want to find an educator who is female, who is Australian. I'm going to leave the time period blank, and I can find an Australian educator, Isabella Rawson. Pretty neat, huh? So that's one cool way, is they could maybe find something about a career that they like and then find someone to study. It's kind of an interesting way to kind of do a reverse biography. Instead of knowing who I want to study, I know what career I'm interested in, and I can kind of go backwards from there. So that is WorldBook Student. I'm going to come back here and go back into WorldBook Encyclopedia, and I'm going to show you the timelines. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is there are other ways to find it up here. There's an atlas and dictionary as well, just so you know. All right, when I go into timelines, I can see different timelines that have been created, and I can create my own timeline as well. You'll have to create a login. If you're a new user, you can go ahead and set that up. I've already created mine. And so let's say I wanted to look at a science and technology timeline. I can narrow this way, advances in archaeology. And here we go, and I can zoom in and out and see the different details. So I can add, so I could create an event if I wanted to put more information on here, or if I wanted to, I could create my own timeline and then search for information. So let's say I'm going to make my own. I'm just going to title it Test 1, and it's going to give me a blank timeline. So I start by creating events. So let's say in August of 1990, the event description is I went to preschool, or I went to school, or I went to kindergarten. It's probably more accurate. I can color it so I can code accordingly. These ones are mine. And then I can search for events. So I'm going to search for Apple. Let's see. The Macintosh computer was introduced. And I'm going to add that to my timeline. So now you can see, I'll zoom in a bit here, that not long after, so about 6 years after the Macintosh was introduced, I went to kindergarten. I'm going to search another event. I'm going to search for an iPhone. And I can add that to my timeline. Zoom in a little bit more. And I can integrate different things in history that happened along with my timeline. So I think that would be really interesting for students. You can also, I will just say don't save. You can also search for a timeline. So let's say I wanted to search for World War II, or specifically World War II, Europe and Northern Africa. It'll bring up a timeline of events for World War II, Northern Europe and Africa. Oh, Europe and Northern Africa, excuse me. And then I can see the different events, and I can see more information and look at the media. I can also add media to my own timeline if I would like to. So there's a nice brief overview of the things available in WorldBook. I hope you have a great time exploring it, and as always, email me if you have any questions. Thanks!